Colin, it's lovely to see you here today at Collectomania. We saw you last in the Five-ish Doctors reboot. How was it joining that world again?
The Five-ish Doctors was the best fun I've had in front of a camera, until now, of course, for years. And it's been nominated for a Hugo Award, which is extraordinary. And it would be wrong of me to encourage everyone to vote for it, wouldn't it? So I'm not doing that. But to be nominated in the same category as the programme itself is such an honour, and it's a tribute to Peter Davison, whose idea it was, whose script it was, and who directed it. I mean, it was such a fun thing to do, and it gave the fans something that they would otherwise have been deprived of, the 50th, which is all the Doctors who weren't in the celebratory special.
Now, what was it like joining forces with Peter and also Sylvester McCoy you had in there as well?
Yeah, it was lovely to work with them. I mean, I don't think I've worked professionally with Sylvester, have I? As an actor, I mean.
Oh, right.
I have with Peter, because I played a guest part in a Fifth Doctor story. But it was just lovely to work with them, because, they're friends, and suddenly to be in a professional context with them after years of doing conventions was lovely.
Now, we spoke to Paul McGann, and he was saying that the idea originally came from Peter Davison and that it wasn't originally going to be actually an official part of the 50th celebration. So what did you feel when Peter first put that idea to you, and what did you feel when it was embraced by that 50th anniversary special?
Well, when Peter mooted the idea, it was our way of celebrating, and there was not a glimmer of we didn't even hope. In fact, we didn't want to be approved. I mean, he just sketched out what he intended to do. And I'd seen something he'd done for a convention in America explaining why he wasn't able to go, and it was very funny, so I knew we were in safe hands. But not for a second did we think that the programme itself would acknowledge that this was happening. But I think the groundswell of opinion after a while was such that it was hard for the BBC to ignore us. So first of all they said, well, you can come and film down at the studio, and then of course everybody wanted to be in it. Everybody from the current executive producer to the past executive producer to the director of the Hobbit film, which Sylvester was escaping from. So, I mean, I have scenes with Peter Jackson and Ian McKellen in, just phenomenal. And Peter's cut it together brilliantly, because we shot a lot more stuff than you saw. But the end result is something I'm very proud of.
And what was your favourite part of actually seeing it on TV? What was your favourite memory from making it and your favourite scene from it?
Well, it was lovely having my family involved, because they were excited when they heard about it, and they wanted to come and film at my house. So I said, well, why can't the family be in it? And Peter wrote that little vignette of me forcing them to watch my Doctor Who's. Two of my daughters still haven't seen me as Doctor Who. Two of them have watched it, and my third daughter, Lally, has been listening to all the Big Finish audios, because I've been doing the Sixth Doctor on Big Finish now for a long time, done lots of them. And Lally's listened to almost all of them, but the others go, oh yeah, I must listen one day, and they don't. That's the way it should be.
I mean, what have you enjoyed most about taking Doctor Who into that Big Finish audio world?
Oh, I mean, it enabled the Sixth Doctor to live beyond the troubled times when we were filming it from 1983 to 1986, when the BBC itself wasn't that fond of the programme and almost trying to kill it off, it seemed. And suddenly my Doctor has gained credence as a result of the Big Finish take on my Doctor, which has taken him further than I was allowed to do on screen. And I just love audio. Is such a brilliant medium, because we look the same on audio. We look the same. The monsters are really scary.
Now, what's been your favourite of the Big Finish episodes to voice, and can we look forward to more coming from you in the future for that?
It's impossible to pick out a favourite, because as soon as I say one favourite Big Finish, another one leaps into my mind. It's like asking, what's your favourite child? But for various reasons, I've always loved the ones I've done with Davros, because that's been a meeting of the mind of two clever people. Some of the stories I did with Maggie Stables, culminating in Arrangements for War, I love that one. But as I say, as soon as I say one story, I think of another one. The Wrong Doctor I love doing. I'm proud of them all.
Can we look forward to more of those coming from you soon?
Yes, I'm doing another one in a couple of weeks. I get told off if I tell too much about what is coming up, so I mustn't. And I've just finished a series of 3 with Nicola Bryant, which are yet to come out, so there's plenty waiting to happen.
We look forward to those, definitely. And of course we've got, as part of the 50th celebration, we knew that Peter Capaldi was coming as a new Doctor, and we had him revealed, didn't we, in that early episode. We've got more episodes, new episodes coming from him in this new year. What are you looking forward to about seeing Peter Capaldi inhabit that role of the Doctor?
Well, Peter Capaldi, of course, is a grown-up. The last few Doctors have been babes in arms. None the worse for that, but it's nice to have a grown-up again. And Peter Capaldi is an actor I've admired for years. And as soon as they said they'd chosen him as a new Doctor, I thought, yes, what a good idea. It's an obvious shoe-in, really. And all the gossip I'm hearing from the set is that he's superb. So I can't wait to see it.
Talking about big things that are happening, one of the other big things that's happening at the moment is a Star Wars movie just tweeted that they've started filming. Now, there's a lot of fans out there who've been saying on the internet that they would love to see you in the Star Wars movie. What do you think of that?
I'd love to be in Star Wars. Of course I would. And because we were all sitting around in Big Finish when they published that picture of the read-through, we tweeted a picture of us sitting around in very similar poses. And some people have got it into their head that was an indication that I was in the new Star Wars, which sadly at the moment isn't something that they've approached me to do. But I think they should, don't you?
Definitely.
I'd love to be in the new Star Wars.
I mean, if you could be anyone in a new Star Wars movie, what kind of character would you like to be?
Oh, I'd like to be the guy you've never heard of before, who comes into Star Wars and becomes the main character. I don't care who it is. Dream on, Colin.
I mean, what is it about Star Wars that you enjoy as a fan?
Oh, well, because I saw the first Star Wars when people weren't making films like that, which was why it was so loved at the time. I think there was only 2001 around that dealt with things sci-fi-ish. I mean, since then there's been a sci-fi explosion, both on television and on film. But that was magical, and what they could do with special effects started round about that time. So it's a wonderful memory, and what I'm hearing about the new one makes me think it's something that it would be good to be in.
Definitely. I mean, J.J. Abrams, of course, has got a massive catalogue of movies and TV successfully behind him, hasn't he? What do you think makes him the right person to direct Star Wars?
Oh, everything J.J. Abrams does is touched with... Genius is an overworked word, but he does seem to have the knack of transforming something into, yes, that's what it should be like. And to have him doing it makes us feel very optimistic about it.
And of course, we've got people returning who were in the original 3 films, people like Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Kenny Baker, who's here. And we've got lots of new actors, young actors as well, John Boyega, Adam Driver, and various people. I mean, what do you kind of think about that mix, about bringing back, the established stars of the original series and bringing in new cast as well?
Well, any TV or film franchise depends on 2 things. One is tradition, and the other is keeping it fresh. So the mix of old and new is what you have to do, and it's the proportions in which you do it and how well you do it that determines the longevity of the project. But I have no doubt they know what they're doing.
Now, there has been a little bit of a rumour as well going out there that, I don't know if it was after you tweeted the photo, but that it's got you down on the IMDb for Star Wars 7 as a character called Nexus. How likely are we to see that, and what do you think about that?
I haven't heard that.
Haven't you?
No. I think before it got into IMDb, it might have been brought to me. The trouble with IMDb is that anyone who's logged on can change it. So I promise you, I'm not being duplicitous. I know nothing.
But we'd love to see you in a future Star Wars, definitely. So maybe 8 or 9.
No, I'll be Nexus. Happy to be Nexus.
Excellent, good stuff. Well, Colin, it's been absolutely lovely talking to you as always. Thanks so much.
Great pleasure.